Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is 32 of how I married a man that didn't exist. Of course, if you're seeing this for the first time, that means you have to go start from the beginning. There's a playlist. Just play the first one and relax and watch. For those of you that are up to date,
Part 32
let's
of
continue.
How I Married a Man That Didn't Exist. Girls, I'm so sorry. I was going to take a break tonight and record at least a couple parts. I work at a homeless shelter on the weekends. This is my second job, and tonight was popping. It was one incident after the other. I didn't get a chance to get away. I literally just clocked out, and I'm sitting in my car. I'm going to give you one part before I go home. So at this point, I start my new job on the 28th, which was on a Wednesday. We had decided not to take a honeymoon because I was starting my new job so quickly after the wedding, and we had been planning to take a trip later on after that. I had secured employment over on this coast of Florida before I even moved here.
Can you imagine a very smart, intelligent, hardworking woman? She already secured a job in how many days of planning to move? Meanwhile, the Otondo has been there. I don't want to get angry.
I had been putting in applications and doing interviews prior to actually closing the lease of my apartment off and moving over. So in the fuss of being late to the wedding, I had forgotten our marriage license at the Airbnb where we were getting ready. Luckily, our officiant was nice enough to plan to meet us on Monday night to sign it. So we drove about an hour away, met her at a restaurant, and got it signed for her and to send off. So she signed it, we signed it, she kept it, and she sent it off with a return envelope addressed to me at our address so they could send the official copy back to us. At this point, it's important to note that the hour that we drove away was the hour that Rob used to take to get back to Kay's house, meaning we were in the same area. I don't even know why I just made that complicated. We were in the same town that Kay lived. If you remember Kay was the girlfriend of Rob. He claimed was a roommate, whatever. So he had been drinking the entire way up and was making jokes about stopping by Kay's house to get his stuff. Now I'm going to stop right here, and it's important to note that he talked about his exes a lot, specifically T, in which I have not gone into a lot of detail about because I don't want to. Honestly, that is not something I want to talk about, and it's not 1,000% relevant to this.
You see what I was saying? He did a lot of stuff that she endured. And I'm sure she's not telling us half of it, and which I appreciate for her own sanity, because these videos will be here forever. The internet does not forget. And the fact that she kept at condoning it, the man will keep pushing more button. Didn't I tell you guys in the last episode that this man might come and meet her and say, oh, I want to sleep with this person. If you love me, you accept me. You accept me to do it. He's already coming in with it. He wants to stop by Kate's house to get his things. That's indirectly telling you, I want to go and get it up with Kate.
Story. T was the one that he left the rehab program for, and he lived with for a few months. She was the one that was younger than him. He used to talk about her a lot specifically, although he did brag a lot about his exes in general. And he used to say a lot of sexual things, not like, oh, I still wish, or oh, I want to, but talking about their sexual experiences, and he knew it bothered me, and I think that's why he did it. I don't want to hear that. I'm not talking to you about my bedroom habits with other people before I met you. I don't want to hear how you were with other women. It's gross, and it is disrespectful to me as your wife. So this is an important time to note that he was always looking for a confrontation. He was always looking for a reason to explode. This anger, this aggression, it hummed beneath his skin. It was almost like you can feel it vibrating off of him. The smallest thing could set him off, and there's nothing that could calm him down. After fights with me or his mom, he would take off in his car, blasting music, speeding off, drink in hand. He would come back whenever he wanted. It doesn't matter how many times I called him. He would not pick up the phone. He stayed until he was ready to come back. And I understand that people need to take time to cool off. This was an extreme case of he's drunk. He's going to get in his car and get himself wrapped around a tree. He has admitted to me that he is always looking for a fight. We would be out, we would be driving, if somebody cut us off in traffic, if somebody looked at him the wrong way, he would be hanging out the window, cussing this person out, flipping them off, threatening to fuck somebody up. When he did this, it started to scare me, and it started to make me feel intimidated, and it started to embarrass me. Because at this point, I didn't know what I was going to get when we were out in public. I didn't know if he was going to behave himself or not, honestly. So after getting caught in the rain at our wedding, I got very sick. During this time, he was super affectionate, and he drew me a bath. He lit candles for me. My wife this, my wife that. He called me that often, and I felt lucky. And I know what I just said versus this is completely contradictory. The girls who have been with me since part 1, y'all know how confusing and disorienting gaslighting, manipulation, breadcrumbing, all of these things can be. And they can be done in the same day. Sometimes we went through these cycles in the same day. I was left emotionally exhausted. Wow. But when he would give me that love and that attention, and I felt like his wife again, and I felt like, I was the center of his world, I'd be on such a high. Like, I felt like everything was going to be fine. Everything was great. It was a very intense period of some really big highs and lows. So after so many conversations and pleading from both me and his mom, now there were a lot of fights, there were a lot of conversations about this. His mom, Emily, was fed the fuck up too. She's shouldering the bills, I'm shouldering the bills. He's shouldering nothing but his own delusion. He started looking for a job, and he got a job. And I remember the day he went out to the interview, and he called me and he told me he got the job. Now, he got a job he had previously had working for a moving company. He used to work for this moving company years ago. He had went and talked to the owner that was the owner when he worked there the first time, and they gave him his job back. I showered this man with love and encouragement. I told him I was so proud of him. I told him that we would finally be okay, and that he was taking some weight off of my shoulders. When I tell you I hyped his ass up, I hyped him up. I was so happy. I felt so relieved, and I wanted him to know that what he was doing was good. Like, let's continue this good behavior. And I hate to say it like that, but positive reinforcement works, people. So his first day, let me back up. So at that point, I know I said I had felt so relieved. This was another moment where I stopped and I thanked God. I felt relieved. I felt like I was going to be able to breathe again. I was like, this is finally happening. This is going to be good. We're going to be able to save this money. Mind you, we were still planning to go to Connecticut in like a year. We were trying to save money for this. And I wouldn't feel like I was pulling all of the weight by myself. So his first day went well. I had made him his lunch. I had packed him a note. I remember him texting me that day, and he was like, damn, baby, that's like the best sandwich I've ever had. Thank you so much for packing my lunch and leaving me a note. I love you so much. And then I remember thinking at that time, this is how it's supposed to be. My husband working, me packing his lunch, me sending him with a note of encouragement and love, and him finding it randomly through his day. And it seemed like we were getting on the right track. So now it was my turn to start work. He had packed my lunch, and he had left me a note. I love you, baby. Heart, Rob. I remember taping it on the wall beside my desk, along with some pictures of us and the girls. And it was a reminder each day I would go into work. That'd be the first thing I saw. It was a reminder of what I was working so hard for. I'm coming to this job every day. I was scared because I was new. You know, there's a learning curve when you're starting a new job. And it was just a reminder to keep going and that things were getting better. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here.
Hmm. Hey, hey, guys, I'm genuinely speechless, but I feel so bad on behalf of this lady because, of course, if you've been watching from part one, you can see that she has so much love to give out, like so much love to give out. And she has like this gigantic heart to embrace so many people, so much grace to give. And what does she get in return? Manipulation, insult, disrespect. Hmm. Ah. The people I also feel for is those children because you can see that she genuinely loved them. She wanted them as her own. I'm sure those girls they will be missing her so much. Well, guys, we'll continue in the next part 33. That's where we're going on to. So I'll rest a bit and I'll start the part 33 because of my head. I can't listen for so long. So, guys, let's continue in part 33.